You're back at the Fantasy Barbecue Tuesday night MLB. I've got 6 of my favorite plays, including a game we're going to get a stack started for you. A starting pitcher I think goes low owned tonight. One of my favorite buy lows. And of course, my favorite play of the night. Who we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Barn. Find out. Welcome in, guys. Tuesday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Thank you once again for hanging out here in the Fantasy Bar. Checking out today's video. 6 of my favorite plays on FanDuel and DraftKings. Before we get into the plays, as always, you guys know the drill. I've been doing a great job with this. Thank you very much. Take a second, click that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you are into sports betting, if you're thinking about getting into sports betting, you got to head over to scoresandodds.com/beer. So much great information there, adding to it every single day. And if you don't have the time to dig around, premium picks to make your life easy. The guy's been killing it on those home run calls, strikeout calls, prop bets, team bets, everything you want. Some futures in there. Go and check it out today, scoresandodds.com/beer. That link right below me here in the description of the video. All right, tonight's slate looks like a lot of fun. Weather does not look to be an issue, so let's get started here. Let's start at shortstop with Corey Seager of the Rangers. Now, Seager been locked in, especially in the home run department. We're talking 9 home runs over the last 20 games. So been very, very productive. But what I really like here in this matchup, Lyles loves to throw that fastball to left-handed hitters. Seager, one of the better fastball hitters we have in this league. WOBA and ISO, both over 500 against that pitch. And he's going to see that about 40% of the time from Lyles. Not to mention, we know Lyles' long track record of struggling with lefties this season. No different. 363 WOBA, 250 in the ISO. And our power mix is there as well. Corey Seager leading us off here tonight in a good matchup with Jordan Lyles. All right, let's go to the other side of the game. I think this one is very stackable. Let's go with outfielder Anthony Santander of the Orioles. Now, we got to keep an eye out. The Orioles trading away Trey Mancini yesterday. We'll see if there's any more moves made today. But if Santander's in that lineup, I want him in my lineup as well. This guy riding a 12-game hitting streak, 18 hits over that stretch, 4 home runs there, and been solid against righties. 203 ISO dating back to the start of last season. Another very good fastball hitter, and he's going to see even more fastballs, almost 60% from Howard, 2 lefties, 336 ISO against that pitch. Now, Howard struggles with both righties and lefties here, so you really have your pick of the litter with this Baltimore team, but against lefties, 241 ISO allowed and a power mix at 48 and 46%. Not great here, Santander. Solid option. I think he stays hot here tonight against Mr. Howard. All right, let's stay in the outfield. This one, DraftKings only, Jerks and Profar of the Padres. FanDuel, for some reason, clipped this late game off San Diego and Colorado. So if you're going with Profar, only on DK. But at 4K, I think he's a phenomenal option here tonight. We're talking 5 multi-hit games over the last 8. Power been there as well. Home runs in each of the last 3 games here. Now, Urena on the other side is mainly going to throw sinkers. That's his primary pitch, and he throws it a ton. We're talking at about 80% clip here. 436 weighted OBA against that pitch for Jerks and Profar. So matches up there as well. Urena, we know, struggling against lefties. 370 WOBA allowed and a 48% hard contact rate. Profar, get him in those DraftKings lineups at just 4,000. All right, I mentioned a buy low. Now, this is a buy low in the mid-range. Guys, prices have come down a little bit. We're talking second baseman Jorge Polanco of the Twins. It's been kind of quiet of late, and all that's done is brought these prices to a very viable level here. So grab him while you can. This is probably a $5,000+ player on DraftKings. Every little 100, 200 helps, as we know. But I think Polanco snaps out of this funk here sooner rather than later. We're talking a 241 ISO against right-handed pitching. 366 the weighted OBA. Another guy that is good against the fastball. WOBA at 400, ISO at 347. The youngster Manning going to throw a lot of fastballs, 55% of the time on average, 2 left-handed hitters. And we don't have a huge sample on Manning, but we can go back to 2021, include 2022's numbers, and we see a 42% hard contact rate, 2 left-handed hitters here. Polanco in a good spot. Great buy low. Get him in those lineups tonight. All right, let's go to starting pitching next. We're rolling with Tristan McKenzie. Now, the last time we had Tristan McKenzie in this video, he ripped off 12 strikeouts against the lowly Detroit Tigers. Now, I don't expect 12 strikeouts here, but there's a lot of reasons I like Tristan McKenzie. Once again, you look at ownership. Corbin Burns, not that much more expensive in a matchup with Pittsburgh. Obviously, a fantastic matchup, probably a much safer play in your cash games and likely much higher owned in your tournaments. Kevin Gossman here on DraftKings is right below him in a solid matchup with a strikeout-happy Tampa Bay team. I think McKenzie kind of goes ignored here in tournaments in this pricing area. So a tournament play here, you can certainly use them in your cash games, but Burns probably the safer option. But if we're getting low ownership here, I like it. Another reason, McKenzie been very good against left-handed hitters, and he's going to see a ton of those here against Arizona. 8 projected starters. The numbers have been great. Just a 266 WOBA allowed, about a 25.5% strikeout rate on the season. That number jumps to almost 28% against left-handed hitters here. And a lot of those hitters striking out. 6 projected starters at 22% or higher strikeout rate against righties. They're in the bottom half of the league in strikeouts as a team against righties. Bottom 10 in WRC plus against right-handed pitchers. Tristan McKenzie, a guy I think goes overlooked tonight. I think it's going to be a mistake here against this left-handed heavy Arizona Diamondbacks team. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Tuesday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. Congrats to all of the recent winners. This game, very easy to play. A thank you to you guys. Make sure you click that thumbs up button if you have not already. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and guess fantasy points from my highest scoring hitter on DraftKings. Closest guess wins themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. All right, without further ado, let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for Tuesday night, you know I'm asked, the Beast of the Night. All right, it's Beast time. We had a first baseman go off for us last night in this spot. Pete Alonso with the big game. Going to go with another first baseman here. Rowdy Tellez, tonight's Beast of the Night. Now, the big man here for Milwaukee, 3 multi-hit games for him over the last 7. Had that big 2-home run, 6 RBI game recently as well. And why do we point that out? Because the ceiling here, very high for Tellez, especially in this matchup against this right-hander. We're going to get to Wilson here in a minute. 267 ISO for him against righties. Big 43.5% hard contact rate. Leads this Milwaukee squad against righties. Now, Wilson, this is why we love this matchup here. We're talking a WOBA at almost 450. We're talking an ISO over 250. We're talking a hard contact rate north of 50% to lefties and a strikeout rate at just a shade under 14%. So strikeout's always a concern with a guy like Tellez. We don't have to worry about that as much with Wilson. Been awful against lefties. Calling the home run here. Hell, I don't think 2 home runs out of the question if you want to dip into the betting markets. Rowdy Tellez, easily my favorite play on the board in tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it here for Tuesday night in the Fantasy Bar. Thank you so much for hanging out and checking out the video. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points on DraftKings for my highest scoring hitter of the 5 bats I gave you. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet, do that. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Don't forget scoresandodds.com/beer. Can also follow me on Twitter if you are not already at Beermakersfan. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Best of luck on tonight's slate. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.